All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode of Daddy Duck 365 in the blind. Got Miss Bougie coming in and out of the house. Anyway, it's brought to you by get my merch at www.daddyduck365.com. Also, if y'all looking for some ammo, I highly suggest to get a hold of Keith over at Salt Creek Custom Ammunition. Turkey loads, duck loads, coyote loads, whatever you're looking for, he can build it. Also, True Lock choke tubes, some of the finest choke tubes that I have ever had the pleasure of using. I love their tubes. Also, by Biscuit Built 3D, I'm telling you right now, they got a tree strap. We got a tree strap over there that is the best. It'll hang everything you got and ask for more punishment. It is an awesome tree strap. Plus, he also has a DIY kit for decoys to put a little motion in your spread. Anyway, here we go. I got 3 people in here already. Welcome in, and don't forget, start making a comment. Let me know who's all in here, and if this is your first time here, comment where you're from. Like to know. If you're new in here, because I don't know who all, I just know there's 3 people. This is Daddy Duck 365 in the blind. Just imagine yourself in the blind with your buddies. You're having a good time, and that's what we're going to do tonight. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. I usually try to let y'all kind of set the tone. Hopefully it's a waterfowling channel, so we're going to talk about duck hunting. We're going to talk about boats and dogs and guns and ammo and all that kind of good stuff. But let me know who's all in here. All right, let's see here. We're going to get a little political, but not too much tonight. For those of y'all that don't know, I am a Trump supporter. No ifs and buts about it. I'm a conservative. And but with that said, do I like everything that Trump does? No, I do not. I don't like a lot of things that a lot of people do, and I consider them some of my best friends. I mean, if you like everything they do, then something's wrong with you. There's always something. What we're going to talk about tonight is U.S. Fish and Game and Doge. If you haven't heard, Doge has come in and y'all got to forgive me. Bougie is walking in and out of here like she owns the place. But Doge has come in and has cut some funding to U.S. Fish and Game, and especially for their waterfowl surveys. They have let go some people that were working for the government, some contracts, whatnot. I'd like to hear what y'all have to think about it, what y'all have heard or what you think about it. What is Doge? Doge is the Department of Government Efficiency. That's what Elon Musk is doing. If you don't know that, they're draining the swamp. I mean, that was their intent. But my biggest thing is if these, and this is my understanding, I really want to hear what y'all got to think about this, because it's my understanding that taxes from sporting good equipment, hunting and fishing equipment, your guns, your ammo, your clothing, your decoys, boats, anything that's hunting or fishing related, that a portion of that tax goes to the Pittman-Robertson Act, which funds certain things throughout the states, but also off the Atlantic coast, unless somebody can tell me different, I think it's still out there. They have a windmill farm or an oil field there, and they're making like $900 million a year revenue the government is to lease that, and why isn't that money funding these wildlife programs like the migratory bird survey? Because we need that information. We most definitely need that information so U.S. Fish and Game can set up limits for the year and days and all this. So, I'd like to hear what y'all got to think about it. But Rick, I hope welcome back, and welcome to the back to the channel. But that's Doge. John Sullivan, how you doing? But that's what we're going to kind of talk about a little bit tonight. I really want to hear what y'all got to say, what your feelings are. I'm like I said, I'm all for cutting unnecessary programs. I just don't know if I'm for the wildlife programs. This is this kind of hits us as waterfowlers and as outdoorsmen. There were some other programs that were cut as well. I don't have a list handy right now. So, if you're going to have to send a few emails and calls to senators about this. I agree, John. Like I said, I'm all for cutting some of this funding for other programs, but it is my understanding with the Pittman-Robertson Act, and I mean, all these have been enacted by Congress in law. So I mean, it's going to affect your national wildlife refuges. Could affect some state. So I'm kind of curious what y'all have heard, what your thing is. I'm going to tell you straight up, and I doubt very seriously that President Donald J. Trump or Vice President J.D. Vance, hoorah, by the way, brother, or even Elon Musk will hear this live stream podcast, whatever you want to call it. But hey, buddy, if y'all are listening, if this happens to get in your hands, don't go talking to biologists and stuff. Come find you a bearded public duck hunter, and I'll be more than happy to sit down and talk with you about it. I'm a little concerned about that. So I'm kind of like I don't even know the word would be right now, but if you're, like I said, I'm for a lot of programs being cut, stuff that's I made a funny video about me having funding cut to see how much wood a woodchuck could chuck. Yeah, those stupid little things, of course. Yeah. Those need to be unfunded quick. But to unfund programs, especially like the bird survey, when money, I could be wrong, and if I am, somebody correct me. I mean, seriously, I gotta learn. I always thought that the funding came from our taxes, our taxes on the gear that we bought. Exactly is what I'm saying, John. We're the ones that are supporting it with our license, the purchase of goods, paying in apartments. Exactly. So now I'm not that naive. I've been around the block a time or two, and I know that when a law is enacted, that some little greedy person is going to grab some of those funds for a pet project or something. But that money is supposed to be earmarked for wildlife. I'm listening, so no bad talk. Hey, Cody, how you doing? So I'm that was always my understanding that, like what John is saying. Mark, what's going on? Thank you for coming in, buddy. So I've always thought that money that we for our licenses and taxes on the stuff that we buy, the hunting and fishing related stuff, that they went to fund that. So why are you taking that and going somewhere else with it? No, in the first place, if you are taking it and sending it um, um, are you sending it somewhere else? Then why are you sending it somewhere else? You need to stop that immediately, and it needs to go back into the wildlife fund. I'm going to share this with Trump Jr. Hopefully, he will hear so our concerns. Yeah, John, and you tell him that I would be more than happy to sit down and talk with them. And nothing against the waterfowl biologists, nothing against those guys at all, nothing against some of the big shots over at Delta or DU or big landowners, because they're going to tell them one thing, in my opinion. But a public duck hunter like myself and like many of you, we're going to tell them the truth. We're going to tell them what they're doing, and I think they need to hear it from us. Honestly, I would hate to see 3 black Suburbans pull up my front yard, and men in black get out. But it is what it is. But I'd be more than happy to sit down and talk with them. I'd love to. I'd love to bring our concerns. The truth and nothing but the truth shall help me God. Yes, sir. I see Mark. Cody. I see that Mark has already answered your question. But yes, we had a good talk last night about October. So that's my concerns, guys. For those of y'all that heard everything I've said, you need me to repeat it, let me know. But I really want to hear what y'all have to say. So, maybe you have a cell next to the judge from Wisconsin. Well, the truth hurts sometimes. But, I don't know if any of y'all have done any research in U.S. Fish and Game and Department of Interior, but I mean, they've done a lot. They've done a lot of good things over the years. With the sports fisheries and the waterfowl surveys, and I'm just naming a couple of things here. The NWRs, the WMAs, all this stuff is partially funded by the government, that is supposed to be funded from, as a sportsman, our taxes from our license sales and gear that we buy. So, yeah, really. So, what do y'all think? I think this is a good discussion tonight. I think it could be a really good discussion. There's a lot of funding that can go back into waterfowling, and not even directly to a bird survey, but you take guys like Mark J. Larson, who is a trapper and trapping for predators. That would be something that I think would be worthy. Because we got to get rid of the predator. We don't get rid of the predators, no matter what we do. I read saw something the other day that raccoons will destroy approximately 65% of all turkey nests. Well, dadgum, we need to, and that's not accounting what they do to duck nest. So we need to come up with, or do we fuss about this, or do we just go, okay, fine, Mr. DU president, Mr. Delta president, we're going to send you extra money, and you can fund these things through your organizations. You can fund the waterfowl surveys and do it that way. I'm all for it. But if they do that, then they got to cut out the Pittman Robinson Act and everything else, because I don't want to be giving them money just to so they can fund another little pet project that they have somewhere else. We're giving a lot of money. I haven't got all my research done. I'm still working on that, but all across the country, I mean, guys are buying licenses, they're buying decoys, they're buying shells, they're buying this, they're buying that. Randy, how you doing? There's a lot of stuff that we're paying for. So where's our money going? Where is our money going? Is it some senator to have a little pet project, to build a library and somewhere in that bill that's obscure, maybe we need to revamp that. And, I got no problem with conservation. I got no problem with paying extra for monies to go to the benefit of waterfowl. What I do have a problem is the government stealing it and sending it somewhere else. That's where I got the problem. So anyway, let me hear what y'all got to say. Joe sent it to Ukraine. I wouldn't doubt it. Thinking DU can cut some money from their TV shows and put it toward the survey. If DU or Delta decide to say, okay, U.S. Fish and Game can't do this, we need to fund it, how many of y'all would step up and say, okay, let's do it? I'll give them an extra $25, $30 a year all across the country. That's going to add up. That's going to add up a lot to help fund the surveys. And we need that survey. U.S. Fish and Game needs that survey in order to determine what the season is going to be and what the bag limits are going to be. They need that information. I would hate to think that the current administration is anti-hunting, because their voting base is huge. So I would really hate to think that. But I'd love to find out. But this has been on my mind for a couple 3 days, I guess. Like I said, I don't like to get too political on these things, but unless it has to do with wildlife, where's that money going? Where is all this money that we're given? Where's it going to? A couple of people I've talked to can't give me a straight answer to save the life. So, oh yeah, and 100% of the taxpaying base in the United States is doing that, but where is the funding? Where all this funding that they're supposed to be getting? Where's that money going? Why is it not enough? Is it too much to fund these? I mean, what's going on here? Jeff, how you doing? Anyway, those are my thoughts for the day. So I'm really kind of interested in what y'all got to think about it. Uh, it ain't sweet tea, but it'll do. Um, so come on, guys. I know Cody's chomping at the bit right now to say something. What do you want to say, Cody? Um, I mean, do y'all realize? I mean, like I said, that lease they got off the Atlantic coast. I can't remember if it's windmills or if it's. I think it's oil fields. They're making $900 million a year for that to be leased, and that's supposed to be going back into wildlife, not necessarily waterfowl. Go into fisheries and other stuff, but it's supposed to be going. So where is that money going? And why couldn't it fund surveys? The Pittman Robinson Act, millions upon millions, hundreds of millions of dollars every year. Why isn't it helping fund? Where's that money going? Um, like I said, I doubt very seriously that anybody of any higher rank is listening. But hey, if you happen to run across it, give me a call and let's talk about it. Let's sit down and talk about it. You probably spent in gender studies in Morocco, probably. I mean, business sense will tell you. Of course, there's the only person with any business sense up there right now is Elon and Trump. But anyway, business sense would actually tell you if you're getting money from a certain sector for a certain project, that should be put into an account specifically for that project, right? Jeff, what we're talking about is the Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, run by Elon Musk, Donald Trump. They have laid off numerous biologists for U.S. Fish and Game. They've cut out the waterfowl study. So, listen, I agree with you, Cody. But hang on to that thought for a second. Let me catch Jeff up. But they've cut out a lot of stuff from U.S. Fish and Game, Department of Interior. My question is, which I had always thought that the Pittman Robinson Act was enacted so there'd be taxes on all your sporting good equipment that you would use to hunt and fish with, guns, ammo, decoys, boats, fishing rods, bait, tackle, that kind of stuff. That was to fund these projects and fund these things. So you can't sit there and tell me that in the taxes and as many outdoorsmen that there are, that you're not making hundreds of millions of dollars, and why isn't that money being used to fund U.S. Fish and Game, Department of Interior, the fisheries, and all that stuff? Why did you have to cut this out? And I do agree that some of these ludicrous projects outside of the wildlife stuff need to be cut out. I agree 100% on that. And you're right, Cody. Honestly, I think they're focused on some more important issues of our country. And yes, I do know what you mean. But on the other hand, why isn't the money that we're sending them, the taxes that when we buy this equipment, you telling me that can't fund what we have? Granted, they may have to do a little downsizing on some of that stuff if there's not enough funding, but why isn't this being 100% of this being used? I thought that's what it was for. I'm not that naive to know that some senator probably put some bill in the Pittman Robinson Act to help fund a pet project of his of building a library for himself or whatever. But that money shouldn't be used for that. This money should be used for wildlife, the wildlife services. There's my thoughts. So that's what you missed, Jeff. What do you think? What are you thinking about this? I just don't want to sit there and yes, they should have an open book about this. I agree 100%. As bad as Illinois sucks, it seems like our DNR is doing a pretty good job. Right. And there are states that their state DNRs are doing really well with the state tax money they get. But I'm talking about the federal, which would be U.S. Fish and Game, Department of Interior. Why again? I always thought that this tax money would was supposed to be used for that. So why isn't there enough? Has the license? I mean, has the sales of hunting and fishing equipment gone down so drastically that they can't? And they're having to borrow from other funds. If so, okay, let us know that. Let me know that. Let us know that. I agree with you, Jeff. But let me put this forward to you. And if somebody wants to look up the year, that's fine. I don't. But the United States went into, and I can't remember the year right off the top of my head, went into the Migratory Bird Act. And I can't remember the year they did this, where they got with, I believe it was Mexico and Canada, and they started saying, hey, we got to set seasons, limits, so forth and so forth. And then it was enacted into law. So Congress put that into law. And the Department of Interior, of course, is a federal organization. The U.S. Fish and Game is in the Department of Interior. So it should be, was it 1936? I can't remember, buddy. If you're saying it is, I'll believe you until we find another answer. But the Migratory Bird Act, so you got these laws that are there to protect the birds federally. And as far as I know, migratory game birds are the only thing that the federal government controls. I could be wrong on that, but if you know different, let me know. Hey, I don't know everything. I try to learn something daily. So if the federal government is controlling our waterfowl seasons, if the federal government is controlling our bird limits, then our federal tax dollars should be funding that. Simply put. Or, if you, I mean, because when you do a waterfowl survey, they're going to be doing waterfowl surveys in the north countries. So, Montana, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Canada, um, Michigan, these places where they'll do the bird surveys. I don't know, Jeff. I don't know if they've been holding their up their end or not. Um, then maybe that's another tariff that Trump needs to come out with. All right, now you got to start holding up your end on this for these duck hunters. They're getting awful mad. Um, how are you going to ask the northern states, to be honest, to have that burden? I wouldn't ask. I mean, um, I wouldn't ask the local DNR to do that. Those states DNR to do that, or the states to do that. That should be a federally funded, using our tax money on our equipment that we buy. That's what that was designed for. Um, I know a certain portion does get distributed through the states, but a certain portion, where's the other portion going? Another question I have. But I like the comments so far. Y'all keep them coming. Call your buddies. Tell them to get on here. Call your buddy right now. Say, look here, we got a good discussion going on. Let's talk about it. Get some people up in here. Yeah, but why? Let me ask you a question. And I don't live in Minnesota. I know you do. But why would Minnesota do a bird survey for the rest of the country? That doesn't make sense to me. We all should be chipping in on that. Jeff, they may have enough money to do it this year. I don't know. I haven't heard whether they are or are not. I just happened to come across an email that was sent to me, um, that some people were laid off from U.S. Fish and Game biologists, that were directly involved with the bird survey. um, that that kind of thing. And when I looked it up, sure enough, it stated right there that Doge has um, helped close some of this down. How do they do a bird survey? Well, I'm going to give you the short version, Rick. Basically, they take a grid of an area that birds are at, such usually the nesting areas, ponds up north, nesting ponds, you know their nesting areas and whatnot, and then they fly over it, and they get, like I said, a grid, and they have it already scientifically figured out. For example, you take your thumb and put it over that particular spot, and inside that thumb is an estimation of how many ducks are inside that thumb, that are there. And then they figure, they do like this, but um, they just kind of estimate the size, and this is how many birds are in it. It's not quite accurate, but it's about as accurate as we're going to be able to get. Like, you couldn't do a bird survey on wood ducks because they nest in trees. They are in swamps. When you fly over them, you can't see them, but they do it for teal and mallards and other puddlers and diving ducks. Uh, All right, Cody, hurry back, buddy. I was listening to another podcast about losing biologists because of the cuts and the experienced ones retiring, and they were all talking about how it has to affect most all WMA pothole in the pothole region. I did not hear about that podcast. I would have, John, can you put that in what podcast that was? I'd love to watch it or listen to it. They do pond counts during that survey also. Yes. I just gave a short version. I would really like to know. I like to listen to that podcast, and maybe that'll answer some of my questions that I got. But I mean, I know a few biologists, and I have one actually send me an email on this, and it's just kind of been quite concerning. So I'm kind of curious as to why and where's our money going. If it's designated for the wildlife, why isn't it not being used? And where's it going? Simple. You want to cut some fat, you cut the fat out of where it's going. You know, if it's not going toward wildlife, and put it back toward wildlife, you'll have your money. I mean, it's just like when you're at the house and you're putting money aside to pay a one bill off. You don't use that money to pay something else or buy something else. You keep that money until you get enough to make a bill payment. Well, daggum, there you go. I mean, this is what we were taught in school. They will have to do something. It is what everything else is based on. Yeah. I mean, it's just simple. I mean, it's why do they gotta why does government have to make things so freaking complicated? You know, it doesn't make any sense. Again, like I said before, I mean, if the federal money is not going to be there anymore, and well, DU Delta, step up. Cool beans, John. Shoot me an email. You have my email? Very easy. It's daddyduck365@gmail.com. That, or if you got me on Facebook, just send me a message. I don't think I have a banner with my stuff on it. But I can create one. Hang on a minute. There you go. Very simple. We'll put that up there for a minute. Oh. Do you ever duck hunt WMAs or stuff like that? Yeah, I hunt WMAs all the time. Yep. All the time. Not every time I hunt do I hunt a WMA, but I do hunt WMAs from time to time. Some local, some out of state. Hunt where I can find the birds, brother. Have I ever hunted the Ernest F. Hollings? No, I have not. And maybe so, Jeff. I mean, Cody made that suggestion that Minnesota could do their own, but you know, it is the North Dakota one uh, publicized as hot and heavy as U.S. Fish and Game? You know, the U.S. Fish and Game comes out with their survey. I mean, it's a big deal. Does North Dakota help them with that? You know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just wanting to know where my money's going. That's all. And why do you politicians have to always stick your fingers in stuff where they don't belong? You know, why are you always doing that? Why are you always attaching a bill to another bill to get? Why don't you just leave the crap alone and let us? You know, you could fund so much more doing that. You know, if you just keep your little greedy fingers out of it and let the sportsmen, let the outdoorsmen fund all the conservation stuff through their equipment taxes. Simple. Very simple. I mean, I don't think we would need regular tax money going to us, going to that. That should be used for something else. General welfare of the country, the military, that kind of stuff. But if the sportsmen are funding it, why are you taking our money? Where are you taking it? Where are you transferring that off to? You know, get our money back is what I'm getting at. What else y'all got on this? Yeah, come on. Like I said, call your buddies. Tell them to come on in. Make a phone call right now. But the thing is, the feds fly the same route every year and back it up with a ground count. And it is what the base season and the bag limits. I got it. I understand that's what they do, Jeff. My what I'm, maybe they need to get a little more efficient in what they're doing. But where is our money going? Governor Walz turned an $18 billion surplus into a $6 billion deficit. Yep. Like I said, that equipment tax should be for wildlife. And the Department of Interior needs to dole that money out. It doesn't need to go to some senator's pocket. It doesn't need to go to some other funding for some weird crap. It needs to stay with the wildlife. That's my whole thing. Why are you sticking your little grubby little fingers where they don't belong? I mean, we don't need to know why. We don't need to do a funding on why on putting shrimp on a treadmill. That's about dumb. Who cares? I care less about cow farts. But I want where's my tax money on all the gear that I buy, all the gear that you buy? Why isn't it all going to wildlife? What are you doing with it? Because if it was going all to wildlife, then why would you cut out these programs in a wildlife organization like U.S. Fish and Game and Department of Interior? Oh, that's what I was saying earlier, John. Not as eloquent as you did just now, but yeah, um, they hide. Yeah, that's right. They hide so much in the bills. They put other bills attachments. Well, I'll support you, but we need some of this money to go to my library, or we need some of this money to fund pothole, whatever. Man, gone. This is supposed to be for wildlife. Where's anti? I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever. You know. All right. One quick question: am I back? I had a little lag in the internet there, so I'm making sure I'm still back. You can see it's going to be another one of those nights. I know a lot of people. It's the end of April. People are not thinking about duck hunting right now, but that's why my show is called Daddy Duck 365, because I'm constantly thinking about duck hunting or duck hunting related stuff. And that's a possibility, Cody. That is and if that's what it is, then okay, fine. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, then fine. I ain't got a problem with that. But let's get that out in the open. I have not seen anything. If you have or somebody else has, please put it in the comments. That's what I'm. I don't know it all, but and I like to learn stuff daily. One should be able to see where the money goes. I'll try to dig something up this week, and if you do, I'll be digging as much as I can. Jeff, you know how to get in touch with me. Oh yeah, Cody's back, but he's just riding down the road at 100 miles an hour. Anyway, while we're thinking about that, y'all come on, let's get this going, man. Let's get this thing fired up. I can't get fired up unless y'all are fired up. I want to fire you up. I'd love I'd love to see where Anti's at, man. I guarantee he's got something to say. Couldn't resist on the road. I hear you, brother. Um, Hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'm gonna be meeting with somebody, and maybe I can get some of this information. I'd like to. I would love to know where it's going. Hopefully, like the where they go to Anti now. They couldn't find it if they did. But yeah, dudes. Um, I got caught in his van by the river. I'd love to talk to him. I'm telling you right now. Like I said, I doubt very seriously my little small time that anybody would want to come talk to me. But I'm telling you now, I would love to sit down with one of them. I sit down if I couldn't sit down with the big dogs, I'll sit down with the medium sized dogs. Give me. If I can find somebody from the Department of Interior that'll talk, or U.S. Fish and Game, or like I said, Elon or President Trump or even JD, man, why are you doing this to us when our money is supposed to be going to that? And if it's not all going to that, what do we need to do? Who do I need to talk to? Because y'all shouldn't be taking our money like that. That's simple. So what do y'all think? Anyway, so last Friday I went out shooting. Took my dad. We went out to the gun range and we shot some skeet. It was supposed to be a little fun thing. I did take my Tacticam and put it on the gun barrel, so I had a gun cam, and I don't know what I did wrong or what's going on, but I didn't get the first second of good video. Do you know what states are required to brush? My understanding, John, is every one of them. That is my understanding. John, hunting stuff with J&J. What's going on, buddy? I did a video a while back. It was a good ways back, but where they were talking about defunding the Pittman Robinson Act, and I actually got a hold of one of my senators, and he said that was false. That was false information. So. What agency oversees the fish and wildlife? The Department of Agriculture? No, sir. It is Department of Interior that oversees fishing, U.S. Fish and Game. I think the Department of Agriculture is its own entity. I don't think that's part of the Department of Interior. I think it's its own entity. I could be wrong. If Anti was here, he could look that stuff up like in a heartbeat. He's got that supercomputer that he's 6 miles under the ground. Let's see here. Let me see if I can. National Park Service. Go away. Come on. Why you got to give me this bull crap? Bureau of Indian Affairs, Bureau of Indian Education, Bureau of Land Management, Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, Bureau of Reclamation, whatever that is. Bureau of Safety, Environmental Enforcement, Bureau of Trust Funds Administration, National Park Services. Hang on one second. Trying to remember here. Doesn't say, or at least I know the U.S. Fish and Game Service can be traced back to 1871. So there you go. Too many bureaus and not enough cabinets. Yep. My understanding, Jeff, it's the Department of Interior, but I didn't see it when I looked it up real quick. But then again, I was just looking quickly. But that was my understanding. I could be wrong, guys. I don't, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I admit it. But regardless, it's funded, and it's funded by sportsmen. So where's that money? Could it be, like Cody said earlier, could it be people weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing? Could it be they were overspending on maybe not so good projects? I don't know. I don't know. That's why we're talking about it. Hopefully, I can find somebody that might know a little bit about it. But like I was saying earlier, went out and shot. I couldn't figure out why my camera wasn't working, but it did not record nothing over the weekend. So hopefully in a couple of weeks, I can get back out there and try it again, try to figure out what's going on with it. Like to do another video out of the range. I have a lot of fun when we do that. I know it won't be this weekend. My daughter is getting married this weekend, so I'll be busy with that starting Thursday of this week. Got a lot to do. I gotta go find me a suit. That's gonna be a hoot to see me in a suit and tie. I'll take a picture and send it to you. But I'm ready, Cody. So for those of y'all trying to figure out what's going on here, here's the deal. Myself, I'm going to head up to Minnesota this year. First time. I've never been up there. I've never hunted up there, and I'll be hunting with Cody. On the way, I'm going to stop and see Mark J. Larson. I may see him on the way back. He'll probably be tired of seeing me, more than likely. Sounds good, Jeff. And if you would like to talk to me, pass on my information, would you? I'd love to talk to him. I'd like to get the lowdown on all this. So I'm gonna be heading up to Minnesota in October. Hunt with Cody and have a good time. Like I said, there's Mark. Stop and see Mark and have some fun there, and then head up to see Cody and hunt. Like I said, it'll be my first time hunting in Minnesota. He said the only prerequisite that I have to bring is the biscuit maker. That was the only thing. So I'm gonna make sure that the biscuit maker is in the truck when I head up that way. He wants biscuits. So I'm going to cook him some biscuits while we're out there hunting. Probably have to. He probably doesn't have my favorite sausage up there, so I'm probably going to bring that too, and a whole bunch of biscuits. We cook biscuits. But that's what the three of us were talking about earlier, if you haven't heard. We're planning that trip sometime in October. We're going to nail some dates down a little bit later on. I am excited to go. I haven't seen Cody in, was it going on 4 years now, maybe? 4 years? Has it been 4 years since we've seen each other? Appreciate it, John. Thank you so much for stopping in, man. You have a good evening. Have a great week. And I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. And while I'm at it, y'all see my email address up there. Y'all have any questions or things that you'd like to see, feel free. Shoot me an email. And let me know if you have a question or you a video y'all would like to see, some other stuff, off-season stuff right now, of course. So you too, John. You take care of yourself, brother. We'll see if we can't do something. Like I said, these chats, in this chat room, it's a lot of this is based off of y'all and what y'all say, and what y'all are thinking about. Well, we got about Mark Taylor. What's going on? Speaking of the devil, I gotta go see Mark here soon. He's gonna put me to work. We got some stuff we need to work on, and I'm ready to do it. Oh, I got to get here soon. Kind of waiting on something, but going to build a new trailer. I think Mr. Randy Nettles is going to help me with that. We're going to put a blind on a trailer. And if I can get things working out here quickly, I'm going to take that over there here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Get this blind built. Yes, ma'am. What you want? Hmm? What you want? You upset that I'm not talking to you and I'm talking to everybody else? Is that what it is? Baby Canada's showing up daily. Good hatch so far. Awesome. We got a little place that my dad and my brother-in-law have been working on, and they got a few local mallards on it right now. Some wood ducks have been flying in. Their little areas, they planted some stuff and planted up some smartweed. Bring it on now, and you can help me with this boat. Okay. You have to give me a couple weeks, dude. I gotta get this wedding out of the way next week, or the end of this week, and we'll try to put it together. I got to bring my dad with me so that we can kind of get some measurements. But that I think it'll be awesome. We're gonna build a little trailer blind, a little utility trailer I have. What we're gonna try to do is build one that can easily be taken down during the off season, so I can use the trailer. But during the season, we can haul it in to where he's got where we're gonna hunt at. So it'll be a little more comfortable for him. So he's not, because he can't, he won't be able to stand up next to trees like that. And we need him somewhere comfortable. So that's what we're going to be building. What do you want to do with the boat, Randy? Jeff saying mallards in South Dakota are on the nest also. Good. They got plenty of water in South Dakota right now, Jeff. South of North Dakota. Yeah, they got good water, good nesting areas. But I'll be more than happy to help you with the boat. Mm-mm-mm. We are gonna have a little. I'm gonna start doing things a little different. Okay. Yeah, I'll come help you with that. We are gonna start doing a few things different in the blind, and normally I run about 2 hours. I think I'm going to cut it back to an hour and a half from now on. A lot of reasons. It's that time of year, and I'm just getting. I'm trying to get stuff done around here at the house. Spent not 3 full days of working, but when I could get off, you get off work and you go in the yard, and you just broke 2 bolts. Holy crap. Is a water hole, they might have a great re-nesting effort. Okay, cool. Yeah, it never fails. Mark does it. But been doing a lot of stuff in the yard here lately. I cut out a whole bunch of boxwood shrubbery around the house. cut the stumps down to the ground, drilled them out, poured stump killer in them, sprayed everything down with Roundup. I got to come back with um, brush cutter blade and chop up some of the stems and stuff, get that chopped up, raked out, and start. I got to put some plastic down, and then I need to put the mulch on top of that. Got a lot of work. I cut down several small trees in the backyard that was growing up next to the fence, and of course I got to replace the fence eventually. So I wanted to get those down. I ran out of stump killer, so I haven't been able to put stump killer in there, but I plan on doing that here next few days, going back by the fence and just drilling down with my drill, pouring stump killer, get that stuff done. Got one tree I need to trim up. I got two big gardenia bushes on the side of the house I need to shape up a little bit. Some other shrubs I need to shape up. So a lot of work in the yard this year, getting stuff done. So like today, as soon as I got off work, I had one of the kids down the street wanted to help me. So Troy, and so he's going to come over and help me out and that kind of stuff. And so we were walking today, the yard, kind of getting a game plan of what we want to do and what I want to get done. And we're going to start that tomorrow. But I'm going to have to start making these a little bit shorter so that I can get some stuff done. I need to hit. I'm running out of daylight, boys. I need to get back on to really training bougie hard and heavy. I got this blind we need to get built. I got help Mark Taylor out with hopefully some dove fields here in the next week or two. We got to get some stuff in the ground. I want to help him with that. Like I said, he's going to put me to work, which I don't mind. I love it. I love doing that kind of stuff. So I got a lot of things going, and I need to spend some time with my wife. So we're going to be cutting these back down to about an hour and a half. Right now we're at an hour and 15. So I think we got about another 15 minutes, and we got a fishing trip we got to go on. Yep. I'm waiting for you to call me when the water's right. I really want to do that. I want to take my little ultralight fly rod and go down there with a popping bug and flip it over by them lay downs and try to catch me some red breast. So, we got a lot of things that are going on. It's just not enough daylight. I'm running out of daylight, boys. And I love being here with you. I really do. This is my highlight of my week, is to come in here with you guys. But I just got to manage my time a little bit better. I hope y'all understand. Another thing is StreamYard used to give me 20 hours a month. Now they've cut it down to 5, and so I've got to manage that as well. Georgia Boys Swamp Spider. Who is that, Mark? Is it 3.5 right now? What does it need to be, Randy? What does it need to be for perfect? So we got a lot of things that we're trying to get done. It's that time of the year. Brim bait. Oh, okay, okay, I got you now. I got to get back down to Mark's. Got to do some fishing in that little swamp he's got. Dove fields we got to start fixing. You're thinking it's good now? Okay. Whew. You have to give me some time, but I got to get this weekend over with. I got to get this weekend over with. Got to get it done. So, Randy, what would be better, to fish it in the morning or fish it in the afternoon on a Saturday? So I'm trying to get the boat going. There's a fishing tournament this weekend. Ooh, I can't make it this weekend, buddy. I wish I could. Daughter's getting married Saturday. The daughter is getting married. So I've got a morning. Okay. I could probably, you talking about daylight morning or right at daylight or a little bit after? What are you talking about? Because I could probably come down on a Saturday morning for about 2 or 3 hours, 4 hours tops. And then I got to get back on the road, back to the house. All right, Jeff, take care of yourself. Thanks for coming in, buddy. I appreciate it. Carry a brim buster with a popping bug and an ultralight spinning rod. I am ready. I'm ready to get out. I just got to get this weekend over with. Once I get this over with, I'll be good to go. That's funny. That's funny. I need to go do. I haven't been catfishing, and I can't tell you how long. And I am about. I'll tell you what it is, Randy. When you took me to Drummond's and I ate their fried catfish, I am now wanting catfish just about every day. Little catfish nuggets every day. I don't need to catch big ones. I don't want them big ones. I want them little ones. I want them 1 pounders. 2 pounds at most. But them little 1 pounders, man, you flay them out and you chunk them up and they come out really nice. That's what I want. I was up in North Carolina with Craig one year, and I came home with a bag of catfish. I got to the house, I put them in the freezer, and I forgot about them, and I found them about a month ago. It was too much for me to eat, but I'm gonna tell you what, I did it anyway. I like to go at daylight and fish for a few hours before it gets hot. There you go. That'd be perfect. Man, I'll take any size flathead. I hear you. Uh, but I ain't been in a long time. I mean, specifically going for cats, I have not been in a long time. They catching catfish on bush hooks right now on the Little P Day. That's the problem with my boat. I don't have reverse in it, and it's hard. I mean, you can get to where you're going and drop a trolling motor down, but if you've got to back up, it's aggravating. Um, it is aggravating. Wish somebody would go ahead and sponsor me and let me get a new Freedom outboard with a Havoc boat. Man, I tell you what, I'll be burning up the water. All righty. I'm telling you, Mark, I would. I just need somebody to. The only thing when I go see Cody is I'm not taking my boat because they have a motor restriction up there, and I think it's like 10 horses. That's all you can have. But I tell you one thing: if I could find me a, and Randy, I got us a project. Let's build us a 10 horse longtail. What do you think? A little 10 horsepower longtail motor. You put that thing on a little 1436, it would, you could go anywhere you wanted to. What do you think? You think you could build one? Or would it be cheaper for me to try to find one than just buy it? I mean, can you imagine? I think Go Devil makes a crawfish model that's 10 horses. I just want a new boat. It don't have to be a Freedom. I tell you, I went and see them in Turbeville, man. That Havoc boat with that Freedom outboard. Whoa. They had one up there that was a 60 horse on a 17-foot boat. And I'm telling you, that had my name written all it. I could just imagine plastered on the side, Daddy Duck 365. I'm telling you. And they want they want they like them too, buddy. They do like that boat motor. I think it was like 31 grand. And that's not even walking out the door with it. That's just what it is. I need to get a hold of the boys at Freedom. They're up in New York, and I talked to one the other day. You can get the kids to make along. That's what I'm saying, dude. You think we can build one? If we can build one, I'll put it in the truck and take it to Minnesota. We'll put that longtail on the back of Cody's boat. Or I can get stupid enough and just buy another boat. We've been skinning. I'm telling you. You put that long tail boat, you put a long tail on the back of that little boat, and you can get through some skinny water. You can get through some skinny water. I'm telling you. Am I going to have? I know what's going to happen. Here's. I'm going to tell you guys what's going to happen. So I'm going to go up there and I'm going to hunt with Cody, and I'm going to fall in love with it. And because I got a 10 horse restriction, I'm going to come back and I'm going to fix a boat up. I'm going to call it the Minnesota boat. I'll get a 1436. Or maybe even a 1636. Lightweight. Flip that boy on his belly. I'll put Hydroglide or Gator Glide on it, on the bottom, and get a 10 horse long tail motor. And I will drag it back up there for forever and ever. Amen. That's probably what I'll end up doing. That's probably what's going to happen. That's probably what's going to happen. Because Cody said, once I get up there and see what's going on, he says, I'll keep coming back. And I'm telling you, that's probably what's going to happen. I've been looking for an old beat up John boat to begin with. I'd be skint back is what he's trying to say. Skint. I ain't got it yet. I haven't got it yet, Randy. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Wait till I move to the big lake and have layout boats. There you go. Ooh. If you text me on my phone number or another. Oh, there it is. Well, there you go. That comes with everything. There'd be a redneck loose in my swamp. You got that right. I'm looking at one right now for $274, and that Randy sent me, and it's a 7.5 horse. No, my question is, that come with the frame and everything? And you just build it? Is that what it is? Yeah, I got it right here, buddy. I got it. Can you run it? That was an 18 to 16 that you saw. Man, I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, even a 7.5. You put that on a 14. You put that on a 1436. Easy. It'll get you where you're going. It ain't gonna be fast, but it'll get you where you're going. Guarantee it. That ain't a bad little price. The bad part, you'll have more money in the Gator Glide than you would in the boat and motor and trailer. You get a 14-foot boat. I mean, I'll take the motor off and put it inside the boat, slide that boat into the back of the truck, and strap her down. You won't even have to pull a trailer. Of course, I know somebody that can build me a trailer too, so I ain't worried about that either. That's what I'm talking about. I would like to get a 10, just because I am going to be carrying, just so you'll have a little bit more torque, pushing a 1436 and 2 men, gear, dogs, all that kind of stuff. But 270, less than $300. Delivery is $100, so you're looking at a total of $400 with tax and all that stuff. That still ain't a bad price for a long tail motor. You know, it ain't nothing but a gasoline, lawnmower engine. It looked like a little Predator motor. You can buy them at Tractor Supply. Harbor Freight. All right, guys. Well, listen, we've been here for an hour and a half already today. Again, I'm just kind of cutting things short. I got some other things I need to do this evening before it gets too late. But think about what I was saying earlier about the U.S. fishing game. If you kind of start coming up with some stuff, feel free. Email me at daddyduck365@gmail.com. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. If you didn't want to say it in the chat, which is understandable. And we'll see y'all next Monday night. And I'll give you the lowdown on the wedding and all that kind of good stuff, and what all went on and all that kind of stuff. But y'all have a great week. Y'all take care of yourselves. Get out in the woods, get on the lake, get in the swamps, go have some fun, catch you some fish, shoot a turkey if the season's in. Anyway, we'll see y'all next time. Daddy Duck 365. Y'all have a great night.